years, the woman I met, and she said she hasn't changed it too. And typically if you go to any nutritionist today, they'll say, oh, eat sourdough now because it's like food. And this is what I think really revolutionary about it. What she means by real food is you can have sugar with your chai. You can put makhan on your toast. When you're going to eat that omelette, have the whole anda. Don't make this egg white omelette. Don't feel guilty about eating rice, and you don't have to throw out your white rice. I remember, we can't wait for the book. So I said, Ruchita, I need to just move it to brown rice. She said, Mommy, did your grandmother ever eat brown rice? Just eat the rice you don't have to eat. And so, in a way, one of the things Ruchita's saying with her advice isn't just eat gharka. She's like, celebrate food. Don't be afraid of it. You do it by eating all the ancestors and your grandparents and your mothers, and just celebrate it, don't feel afraid of it, and enjoy it. And at the end of it, and the bottom of it, and this is what makes this book special, is that, in a way, what she's saying is, what is the point of food? What is the point we eat? And so, in a way, what Ruchita is sort of asking is, what is the point of life? What are we here for? And I think one of the things, if you could come on stage, I don't know whether Shonali is here. And may I now ask Mr. Abiyat, the General Manager of Taj Lands, to also come. Could someone bring the books, please?
आगे जाना पड़ेगा कृष्णा भाई नहीं मिलेगा चलो आगे जाते हैं Thank you.
Then I'm getting my child.
We all settle down. I'll start the conversation. So I'm going to start with a very simple question to the two of you, but one that has always interested me. So, Ruchita, you've always written that, so much of how we eat is to do with how we feel about ourselves. And, when it's pretty tied into our self-esteem. And now both of you are champions of self-esteem, right? Kareena, you moved from size 0 to pregnancy in the public gaze happily, without blinking an eyelid. And then Ruchita, you constantly talk about this issue. So I'm going to turn it around and say, has there ever been a time where you didn't like yourself and you didn't feel so good about yourself?
I think that I'm someone who has always actually, as you said, I actually live by the rule कि मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, because that's the only way I think every woman should kind of live their life, because self-belief is everything, however you think, however you feel, if it has to, you have to constantly keep telling yourself that, every woman, I feel that if you kind of reassure yourself every day, it just becomes easy to believe, and then others start believing it. Not that it matters what others think. At least I have always lived like that.
What about you, Ruchita?
First of all, I do want to say that I completely vouch for what she's saying, that Kareena is one person who has never doubted how good she looks, and that is exactly what makes her stand apart from almost all the women that I have ever known, and I know some really beautiful women. Just everyone I think is good looking in their own way, but she's never even once had small doubt in her head about how she's looking. And she's always, one of the things that I've always loved about Kareena is that she really compliments herself and she tells me, I cannot even tell you how good I'm looking. You know? Yeah, that's true. And I love that about her.
The whole world knows and everybody's like, oh my god, looking very fat.
I'm
looking fat.
I cannot even tell you how good I'm looking. I'm looking like a stick, you know? So, yeah.
Only, honestly, I'm telling you, she has some, I don't know what it is. It's just a magic wand or something like that she just kind of has, that I think that people actually know that when I'm like on her diet, when I'm off her diet, she actually kind of just makes things really, really simple and easy, and just, plans it in such a way that it kind of just helps people, to just eat what is normal in the kitchen rather than rushing to like supermarkets and like, okay, can I have low cal this? Can I have this? Can I have that? And oh my God, my aversion to avocados. I don't know. Both she and me, I think, like, I don't know.
You're an avocado enemy?
I mean, it's also because I think we've never really gone down that road, because
I know
I don't
Ruchuta
know.
can't, I never tell Ruchuta when I'm eating avocado toast.
Yeah, don't tell her. She's very against it. She'll be like, no, you have to eat poha and upma and like, whatever. Yeah, paratha. But then now the idea is that we can't eat 3 aloo parathas. No?
This is true. But I want to go back to it. Ruchita, you also have a ton of confidence. And Karina, again, I'm going to ask you a bit. Was it just like, when you were like 4 or 5, did you love yourself? Like, is it just one of those things that you were blessed with? Or is it something your mom did? Or is there something that, as a parent, I think like, oh, it's very hard. Like, I always worry, like, are my children going to like themselves? Did it just come naturally? And what about you, Ruchita? Were you always like very sure of yourself? You never did, you were kind of always sorted?
Yeah. I seem like that. But, almost every single day, I think I'm going to think that I don't look good enough or I'm ugly, And earlier, I guess as a teenager, a lot more. And then over a period of time, much, much lesser. And what has really helped me is that through my line of work, I have met many girls who keep thinking that they're not good enough, and then that really shrinks their personalities and their potential. And I promised myself that I'm not going to do that to myself, because I want my bandwidth clear to pursue what I really want to do in my life. So now that voice of I'm not good enough, I'm not looking good, am I looking okay, am I too fat, do I have a double chin, do I have bra fat, do I have stubby thighs, do I have all of those things that girls almost think is natural to think about themselves. I think that voice now almost never appears in my head, because it knows that if it does appear, I'm going to squash it and silence it. And working with Bebo has helped me.
And Karina, you never had that ever? I mean, you're just one of those God-gifted women who
No,
just
it's
never
not.
had that voice in their head.
No, I'm
It's
sure.
amazing.
As a
It's a
teenager,
super-
I mean, I was also like quite always a chubby kid, and it was not. But I never really. Yeah, I was always like happy with, my relationship with food has like been amazing. So that I think has really helped, because it's not like I've ever tried to starve to look thin. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. So I think that in my teenage years also, I think I was. I'm not going to be like, okay, I was like this and now I'm. No, I think it was pretty, I was always like really happy to like pick up a chips packet and eat it. Even though now I shouldn't be saying it in front of her. But I was a confident girl.
Wow, it's great. So I found, particularly after pregnancy, that I had this weight that I gained, and it's never gone off. I was always like a happy 54, 55 kg girl. I just had a baby a year and a half ago, and now I'm happily 59, right? Like.
Yeah.
I promise.
You're on Rujuta. For sure. She stopped you from the avo toast. That's helped.
You think so? But Karina, you never had that. I remember, when we published your book, Pregnancy Bible, you had that moment where you said, which happens to all girls after they've delivered, they look at themselves and suddenly that excuse for the bump has gone because the bump's out of you there. And you never had a moment going, yuck, oh my God, panicking?
No, I think so. After Jay's birth, I think that there was a moment of like, of course, oh my God, now I have to go back and do this all over again. But it was just it was just for a flash of a second. It was just like, no, it's fine. I'm still looking fab.
Yeah, and she was looking fab. And I think 50th
And I was
on-
like, I think I was quite, I'd put on 25 kgs, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's okay. I think on the 50th or the 55th day, you walked the ramp right after Jay. After Tim.
After Tim.
After Tim.
Yeah,
after
exactly
post-pregnancy.
45 days after
Yeah,
that. yeah.
right after.
Rujita, I want to ask you, where, you work with so many women, what is the stage, and then we'll leave this self-esteem thing behind, this is the last question, but is there a moment in a girl's life where she's most anxious and nervous that you found? You've talked to women and worked with them all across. Is it pregnancy? Is it before they're getting married? Is it menopause? Is there a moment that you find the women you work with are like feeling most like?
No, I think, they're probably like that all the time if they've not faced it. So that's also something that I wanted to say, that it's not that I have not felt it, but because I have faced it and I have quelled it, I think that's the important thing for your confidence, that you have to face your fears and you have to overcome whatever's holding you back. But I think women don't really wait for a special moment to feel underconfident. Somehow they mix it with being grounded, being underconfident with being grounded or simple. And therefore, unfortunately, if we don't face our fears, I think we can live our entire life and go to the grave thinking that we were not good enough. So at some point, we need to look at ourselves and know this, that yes, मैं मेरी favorite हूँ, because if you see that beauty in yourself, then झक मार के the public also begins to see it in you. And if you fail to do that, then it's hard to come around. But if you had to ask me what's that one special moment where girls feel are they especially looking bad, I think maybe right after a breakup. But and then they actually go through a transformation and maybe gain their confidence. So I do feel that every girl must go through at least one breakup so that she can find herself.
Ruchita, you've slammed every trendy diet there is in this book. I would just tell everyone to pick this up. I mean, I don't know whether I have at least every friend I know is on some trendy diet, right? Whether it's a gut detox or doing intermittent fasting or protein diets. You're particularly angry about this protein thing, right? Can you tell us what gets your goat? Why does it irritate you so much?
Well, actually, I don't have even one diet which is I love them equally or I hate them equally because they keep me in business. So if there were no diets, I would not have any work to do. But I always say this, that if your diet has a name, it is bound to fail. Protein diet now, I guess, because, one of the things that I've written about in the book is also that diets are getting nastier, because earlier people would just be on one diet. Now they're on multiple diets together. So they will be on a high protein, low carb, IF, and cleanse all together in 1 week. And then you are having people who are constantly hangry. They're hungry, therefore they're angry. They're snapping. They're just very, I guess, agitated, and they're not even feeling good about themselves. And the thing of obsessing with any kind of nutrient, now of course it's protein. Earlier when I started, it was about fat. People would avoid fat at all cost. Now they're having fat at any cost, even if it's ghee in their black coffee or butter on their black coffee or whatever. So going nutrient specific is just bad, and I feel it is terrible for culture, climate, cuisine. And we often run after a nutrient at the cost of our identity and of our diversity. I think our food, our ghar ka khana, is a reflection of both our identity and the fact that we are such a diverse population. We eat so differently from one another. But when we give up on our local, seasonal, traditional ghar ka khana, I think we really mess up. So I don't have one diet that I hate a lot. I hate them all equally.
Now, Kareena, admit it when you're not working with, I know you work with her on particular moments in the year, etc. Do you have like a trainer who's saying whey protein cow, and they must, no, you must have other people you work with, whether it's a trainer or something, giving.
The thing is that because we've been together for so many years, that even if I'm like fall off the wagon, or I'm like, she is very, pro-vegetarian, and, we work together in a way where when I'm pure vegetarian, like I think it makes me feel personally, and like my body, my face, it transforms it. So I've had experiences with that and with her. So my relationship with food is so easy and so simple in the last 10, 15 years that I just go back to the same food. So I'm like always like very happy with it. I don't want to experiment with anything else, because whether it's good for me or bad for me, but I just love the fact that it comforts me, it makes me feel happy, I feel amazing, and that's the most important thing for me,
So have you guys ever had a food fight? So I'll tell you, I have this one fight with Rujuta, which is about drink. Now, I like having a drink, okay? And especially a long
No,
day.
she's the wrong person. I'm telling you, avocado and all this, you can't. Don't address all these issues in front of Rujuta. She gets really like, no.
And Rujuta knows this, right? I get very nervous, right? Because I also I feel very scared of it. For some reason, Rujuta is one of those people I don't like offending, Oh. I'm like, oh my God. I really do. So is there one thing that you hide from her? Do you have that same relationship with her? No. And what do you feel about the drink? Does Rujuta say, no, you can't have that one drink at the party? What is your
I mean,
attitude?
she's always like, Rujuta has a thing, the beauty about her is that she'll never say no, But she'll always be like, yeah, okay, have it. But I mean, it's coming from a place which is not really happy. So it's like, oh my God. Like, why? Or then she'll be like, no, have this with this, have that with this. So I'm just like, oh no, this isn't going anywhere. But what I love about her is that, listen, she'll always be like, no, you'll be fine. Just eat dal rice, just eat this. Don't eat all, whatever, like how you started saying that, whether it's sourdough, whether it's this. I've eaten all of that, and I don't feel good about it. But when I'm at home and I eat like my simple khana, I don't care what it is, but I feel like a zillion bucks. And I think there's nothing like a home cooked meal after a hard day's work. If, now Saif and me have even started cooking ourselves because we enjoy it. And Rujuta is quite like, for the fact is that, cook your meals, eat your meals, keep it simple. So we've kind of also made it a way of life like that. And somehow it reflects in our personality of being happy.
So who's the better cook, you or Saif?
No, he definitely. I don't know. I think males make better chefs. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's
Somehow.
like, I think she's the next brand ambassador for gender neutral kitchens, for people cooking often, for people eating as a family with children. So I think it's important
I mean, at least he cooks better than me.
Yeah.
But that is for sure. Because I don't know. I can't even boil an egg. I don't know. I don't think it's also to do with interest.
Yes, it's got to do with interest. And I think he has to cook because he has to impress her. She doesn't need to impress him, So, yeah. I think cooking is, you have to come to a point where you actually begin to enjoy your cooking. But I want to answer that question about whether or not she ever gets recommendations about she should be eating in a certain way and stuff. When I started working with Kareena, it was in 2007. The book came in 2009, but we started working together in 2007. And one of the reasons why her body shifted like the way it did is because she was never on a diet. One of the reasons why she worked with me is because she had this guarantee that I am not going to deprive her of food. So long before I came into her life, she was very sure that she's not going to get in shape at the cost of depriving herself of things that she enjoyed eating. And I love that about her, that confidence, that security, because it makes my job much easier. And I have noticed this, that confident women get compliments and insecure women get comments. So if you're getting too many comments about what you should be eating and what you should be wearing and how you need to lose weight, I think it's your insecurity that others are latching on to. And when you're confident, I think people just want to copy you or give you a compliment on how great you look. So she's a confident person, so no one dare tell her what to eat, you know.
But I'm going to come back to that thing that bugs me a little bit, and then we're going to move to the next question. So why do you hate drinks so much? Why, like for you, it's like... No, so what I mean is, I know if I told Rujuta I ate gulab jamun, she'd be like, enjoy it. Mine? Totally. Do you find that? So, you know, like, I mean, because Rujita's view on gulab jamun is, eat your gulab jamun, enjoy it. You know you shouldn't eat it every day. The day you enjoy it, eat it without guilt.
How to drink, no? Yeah. See, here's the thing that we now know that...
Really? Are you saying that?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to drink once a week?
Well, she drinks a lot more than once a week. You know, so it's like... Yeah. Yeah. So... More every day, you know. So the thing
Sorry,
is that
guys.
see,
You're now
any
learning
amount-
my secrets too.
Well, we now know, science now knows that any amount of alcohol is bad for health. It's just like any amount of smoking is bad for health. So you're better off not doing it. And, you know, a thumb rule is if you're going to drink, then eat first, drink later, and then have a glass of water between your two drinks. You say that to anyone, they're like, "Fir to chadegi nahi." You know, so, you know, but if you must drink, I think that's how you should drink. And after you've had a drink, I think don't give your opinion on anything to anyone. Don't call any, don't stalk your ex. Don't go on social media. See?
Rujuta sets me straight. But Karina, you've really never had a food fight with Rujuta where you've said, no, I've got to do this, and Rujuta's like, no.
No, but the thing is that if I tell her that I want to have this or include, you know, a certain meal that I really want to have, she'll be like, yeah, okay, have it, and, you know, stuff like that, not every day.
Yeah.
So it's about eating the same kind of food, which is home cooked practically most days of your life. Like my comfort food, like if I don't eat khichdi for like 2-3 days, I actually start craving it.
Really?
Yeah, I'll message her. I'll say, there's no khichdi in this diet. I can't sleep in the night. Like you're saying, you need a drink. I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm not eating khichdi. Yeah, so I'm like, Rujita, there's no khichdi. Can I eat? She's like, yeah, of course. Shito is a...
Karina, do you know I've never heard a Punjabi say they like khichdi? Only Bengalis like khichdi. Do you know this? I've always heard Punjabis say khichdi is for when we're sick. And Bengalis love eating khichdi. They eat khichdi when it rains, right? So they think it's a treat food.
Yeah, but my cook is like exhausted because he's like, because she'll make you eat the same food like for 10-15 days. Like I'm eating like, okay, khichdi, dal rice, I don't know, dahi rice. He's like, what am I cooking? But I can like be really happy to eat khichdi at least 5 times a week, which I think works, and it's somehow it just keeps me happy with that little dollop of ghee. That's my dinner tonight also.
On that note, what did you both eat for lunch today? What was your ghar ka khana today?
Mine was lauki, dal and rice as per what I'm supposed to eat.
I ate white kanda and some usar, you know.
See,
masoor
she's very
ka usar.
fancy and she keeps putting up all these Maharashtrian things, and I'm like, Rujita, what is this? Even I want, send for me, do this. The typical food, you know. I love her food.
By the way, I want to tell you guys an amazing thing about Rujuta. So she has a kind of farm, and she grows the best rice I have ever eaten in my life. Isn't it amazing? It's just, I don't know, if it ever goes on sale, guys, I'm going to tell you, she'll give up being in the health business. She'll just be a rice maker, and it'll just become this, it's just delicious.
Yeah, but you know, na, she will not ask her. Everybody tells her to do ads, posts, not one thing she'll do. She has only writing books.
But Rujita, why is this? I mean, this farm makes such amazing produce. You don't want to turn this into something.
No, because I think it's a conflict of interest. If I'm in this kind of, this shouldn't be selling any kind of food. Also, the farm that I have is actually our ancestral farm. I'm the 5th generation, and I have to honor the commitment that the family has towards, sharing this food with everyone who grows that food, and also with the tribal villages around us. So now, in fact, we have this thing called the Ragi Kheer project. So about 14 padas and 350 children every day get Ragi Kheer as a breakfast meal, and it's helping them beat malnutrition. So I think we much rather, thank you, focus our energies there. And there's always enough rice for friends and family.
So the other thing that you say in your book is that, people go on diets, but they don't sort out their basics. And it's one of the things, that you keep saying that, look, what are the basics? It's eat ghar ka khana, do some exercise, get your sleep. So I sort of want to ask you, what do you both do for exercise? I've never actually asked you, Rujuta. And Kareena, like, how often do you, what is your fitness regime in a week like?
I mean, I think there has to be some sort of movement. So, like a mix of everything, like I enjoy walking. That's something I like, but obviously I can't do it outside. But that's something I really, really enjoy. And in fact, Rujita also always says that, a 30, 40 minute walk or a 30, 40 minutes of maybe weights little bit is what's important. And twice a week yoga, because that's something that I love.
And do you exercise every day? Is that your rule?
I mean, when I'm not shooting, depending on timings and stuff like that, but I exercise, I think it's also more to just feel like I'm waking up in the morning and I have something to look forward to, and it kind of gets my, brain happy and activated somehow, So it's not like I'm doing this because I want to lose weight. I want to do this because I want to feel like, there's like a commitment to this. There's something that's making me feel great, about it. Because I feel like if I do something with the thought that, okay, now I have to do this, now I have to walk 10 kilometers, I'm never going to do it.
Correct.
So,
What about you, Rujita? Is it yoga that's your main form of exercise?
I do a little bit of yoga, a little bit of weights, a little bit of cardio, not too much of anything. I think that's the key, to have a well-rounded workout program. And like she said, it's like you exercise for your brain, for your bones, for your hormones, for your heart, for all of those things, and not just to lose weight. For vanity. Yeah, not for vanity.
But the trick is, do you do it every day, or do you just do it 3 times a week, or like what?
she'll say don't do it every day.
Oh, is that right?
3 to 5 times a week. 3 to 5 times a week based on what the week is looking like.
So why do you say not every day?
Because rest and recovery is important. Workout at the end of the day is actually catabolic in nature, so it leads to small wear and tear in our body. And if we don't take a rest day, then we don't get our bang for the buck in terms of exercise. You're exercising, but you're not looking like you're exercising simply because you're not staying away from your workouts as often as you should be. So 3 to 5 days is more than enough. And otherwise, you should just keep active.
And now I want to move to a bigger thing, which is, I'm in my late 40s, and I'm thinking about aging. And I wonder how both of you feel about getting older, your body's changing, your face changing, the way you work changing. How do you feel about that? Do you feel excited? Do you feel apprehensive? Is there things about growing older that's made you annoyed, stressed? What's sort of your attitude towards growing old and growing older, not old,
Yeah, I think it's everything. Age is just, it's just a number. My only thing is that I want to always be fit to take on whatever, old age brings. I want to be able to do what I have to do, whether it's go to set also at 70, 75. I want to keep
85,
working, 85, all my
yeah.
life. I want to do that. I want to be able to bend to, pick up my grandchildren. I want to be able to do things and not be dependent on someone or a stick. I want to. So for that, I need to eat right with her guidance. I need to have mobility to work out, not, to look good. It's not about the way I look, it's about the way I feel. And that's what, for me, aging and life is. So I love it, I'm embracing it, but I'm taking all these particular things, like eating ghee, eating khichdi, doing a little bit of weight training for muscles, strength training, walking a little, my Surya Namaskars, doing my little work on my own rather than, I'm spending time doing all of this rather than, skin treatments and Botox.
What about you, Rujuta? How are you preparing for all this?
I don't think you have to prepare. I think you just age, If you have to, it also depends on what kind of older people you've had around you. And I think, I've had some wonderful elderly around me, so I'm not scared of it at all. I do know that you don't slow down just because of a certain number. There is Harish Bhai here in the audience, Harish Bhai, how old are you? 70 plus to honge aap? See, he's 80, okay? So he's 80, he has practiced yoga regularly. He just had a hip replacement, and within 3 weeks of hip replacement, he was out trekking. So I think that's the whole thing, that if you are in good shape, you don't necessarily have a flat stomach, but at 80, he has the enthusiasm and commitment to come here and support me for the book launch, to trek. I think that's the important thing. Oh, thank you. There's also Aruna Maushi, my mother, everyone here. It's like, I think they are good role models for...
They're stronger than us, trust me.
Do you have a role model of someone older that you say, I want to be like them when I'm in my 70s?
I think, role model, it's just that I know that what I don't want to be, so I kind of have that. Role model is just the right, kind of things, the right kind of lifestyle, the right kind of attitude. Those are role models.
I have to say, the person I want to be like when I grow older, physically, is your mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, she is also...
I feel like Sharmila Tagore, she looks her age,
gorgeous.
And she still looks so elegant, but without looking
And she eats turi and lauki every day.
Really? Did you
Simple
ever
ghar ka
notice the
khana.
theme in this talk? There's enemy, avocado, and Loki the goodie. That's the war.
No, I would just want to say one thing that, I think with age, what I'm sure I don't want to be is bitter. That's something that I don't want to be. I don't want to get nostalgic about the good old times. I want to get old with optimism, with hope, and also with this wish that, when it comes to social determinants of health for our country, that, there is that as we age 20 years later, 30 years later, health becomes accessible to every single person in our country. I think that is something that I would like to contribute towards, and that is something I think, with someone who is as big a role model as Kareena, eating simple, sensible, and sustainable food to maintain her fitness. I think she's taking away this whole narrative that you have to do something very expensive or unpronounceable to be in shape. You can just eat ghar ka khana and be in good shape. So I think that's important. If everyone can eat and enjoy what's on their plate, and if there is nutritious food access to everyone as we age, I think that will be a wonderful way to age, Yeah.
I think this is a great way to end the afternoon. We don't have a ton of time to take questions, so what we did instead is I asked my team for a question, and we've asked the Taj team to give a question, and we asked Rujita's team to give a question. To stand in for a general audience Q&A, so please forgive us. So I'm going to say those questions which they've given. So the juggernaut question is, like the rest of us, do you also wait for the mango season to start, and is it hapus or nothing?
100%. In fact, today we just tweaked our diet where Rujita was like, now we have to add mango because it's the fresh fruit. But I have to say that I'm not very I mean, I like fruit, but like, it's not like my go-to like thing that, okay, snack.
Yeah.
But I have it because like if it's a banana or like a mango or whatever the fresh seasonal fruit is. But, so yeah, I mean, I'm not gorging on them, but yeah.
Eating one.
Yeah.
Eating one.
One a day now or something, let's
What
say.
about you, Rujuta? What's your mango to go to?
I think in terms of fruits, I like jackfruit a lot more than mangoes. Yeah. But like a lot of people don't like the smell of jackfruit. But that's my favorite fruit.
Wow, you know, in Bengal, like we cook it as a vegetable rather
Yes.
than eat it as a fruit. Like
Yeah. In
Yeah.
biryani also. In fact, I think it is Bangladesh ka national fruit.
Is that right? There's a question from Team Taj. What, according to your experience, good food or good company?
For me, it's a combination of both because it's really important. The company is you eat with people you love. And in my family, it's like a thing because our celebration is around the dining table. Like we're sitting together, we're eating, we're chatting. I think the conversation gets better with food. It's all interrelated, you know. So that's why it's a happy relationship with people, and the way is through definitely, you know, good food and great dining.
Is there like a go-to dish the Kapoor family, Kapoor Khan Pataudi family, like is there one dish that's like your famous dish at home?
Yeah, I think all the Kapoors are obsessed with payas, the paya soup.
Yeah.
That's there.
Oh, this is in your pregnancy book too.
Yes, it is in there.
was-
I gave the recipe also.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rujita feels about that. She'll probably say like, oh, wait, okay, seasonal because it's more like a winter thing or whatever. But yeah, that's a complete go-to dish for us.
It was delicious sounding. What about you, Rujuta?
Oh, I like everything, you know. I like everything
Just told you
about
some
food.
dahi rice with some kachumbar. She's very into all of that.
I like everything about food, and I obviously like the people that I'm eating with. If I don't like the people that I'm eating with, I just don't eat food. You know, I'd rather eat alone than eat with people whose company I don't enjoy. But I think, you know, Kareena is going to replace that paya with khichdi very soon. I think, you know, when you're talking to the next generation of Kapoors, they'll be like, hum khichdi khate hain.
I don't think that's going to happen. What do you guys feel somehow? They're shaking their
It's
head.
okay not to like dent the legacy of paya, you know, but you just bring it to include the khichdi, that's all.
And Rujuta, is there a specialty in your house that like, you know, when people come to your house for a meal, that's the meal that they expect?
Puran puri, you know, yeah. Yeah.
She told me, she's like, Puran Poli is there outside.
And the last question, and this is from Team Rujuta, what role does food play in maintaining work-life balance?
I think you should answer. I have to tell them every day.
You're firing them every day. Huh? People are like, Rujita is like full on. They love her videos because, you know, she just says it as it is, you know, which is like so, like, I look forward to listening to them also, you know. And I'm so happy that she says it and the world, you know, gets to experience that. But I think that if you are like eating right somehow, even you're mentally thinking straight, you're, like if I don't eat, like I skip a meal with this intermittent fasting and don't eat, I've noticed that like, I don't know, I'm just like in a really bad mood. Like I can't shoot, I can't work. My mind is just thinking that, you know, okay, now I'm hungry, when is the next meal? You know, so I just feel like to maintain yourself and be happy even in your workplace, it's so important to have like a good breakfast, to have that focus and that ability. So, I mean, this is what I believe in my personal experiences. And I mean, I think that most people are like, you know, don't wake up in the morning and have breakfast.
I
These
know.
days, this
These
is the
days,
trend.
That's the thing. Yeah, when I started working, it was like in the night, don't have dinner. Now it's like in the morning, don't have breakfast. You know, so they're like, abhi kaun se naye tarike se khud ko torture kare to, you know, get in good shape. And then you're never, you know, the minute you're tortured, you're never in good shape because you're not feeling good about yourself. And I think one of the reasons why we should all eat and what helps us maintain the work-life balance is that with good food, we are gentler and kinder. And I think that is what the world needs today, you know, more Maitri, more Karuna. And like if we eat well, then I think we are gentler and kinder to ourselves, the people we work with, and much happier, you know, and therefore also more balanced.
I always remember, you know, when we were working on that first book, I knew that it was going to be a hit because, you know, when I edit a book that I'm really into, I talk about it when I'm out at a dinner party, right? And I used to say, oh, I'm working with this nutritionist, and her one rule is don't wake up in the morning to tea and coffee. And everyone, there'd always be like pin drop silence in the table because they were like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you know, because an average Indian, like even my mom, she'll wake up, and she'll have a Marie biscuit with her chai and read the papers, and then she'll have a breakfast, you know, after like 2 hours or whatever it is. And that was all about like this eating.
But has that helped you? Are you following this or no?
Listen, I now have to eat a banana every morning because of Rujuta. That's one of her big things. Because by the way, Rujuta did a consultation for everyone at Juggernaut, and shamed us because I do eat tea and biscuits in the afternoon, and they're like, no, it's nuts. Please, just like don't open a packet, and then they're like, don't drink 3 glasses of champagne like every Saturday,
Every Sunday, every night. Yeah.
But the big one which has changed is like she's like eat, and I ate a banana before I caught a flight today. I just want to tell you it's my new thing.
Well done.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. I mean, I know from Kareena will
Thank
say
you.
this that you've changed Kareena's life. I know you've changed mine. And I know that you probably shaped and touched many, many peoples in this audience and, of course, beyond this audience. So thank you, Rujuta. Keep
thank
talking
you.
and thinking and writing books.
No, thank you. I think without the two of you, I wouldn't have had the career that I have. You know, even when I sent Kareena the book, I told the reason why I can still write books. You know, so when people say, oh, 10th book, I'm like, it's only because of her. People.
Yeah, true.
I wrote the first book because of her. My 10th one, all the ways also because of her. And you, Chiki, have just been such a wonderful editor, such a ruthless editor. And, you know, I think the whole ruthlessness only comes out of love. Because you're like, you know, the world should not see what a big idiot you are. You know, so let's get all of these words out of this paragraph. So, no, but thank you to both of you, because without you, none of these books would have existed. So thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, everyone. Books are on sale. Rujita's here to sign. Thank you again to Taj Chambers. Thank you again to Axis Private Banking. I don't know if anyone in Taj is coming to say a vote of thanks. Otherwise, I've said thank you. We can call it a day. And please do purchase copies, and Rujita's here to sign copies. Thank you very much, everyone.
कन्या जी यहाँ पर
करीना जी, yes.
रुकिए मैडम
Thank you.
थैंक यू
जा तू भी जाता कर।
गो गो टीम यस कम टुगेदर यस
हो जाएगा।
मैडम कन्या जी लुकिया कन्या जी थैंक यू मैडम
लिया है ना वीडियो उसमें? बस छोड़ दे। चले चल शिवा बंद कर दो